All right, sound check. Check. Check.
All right, sound check.
Yeah, we're good, everybody. We can move this a little bit further so the charts aren't so... I have my split screen, so I never know. It doesn't cover all of the screen, so move that a little bit back that way. I have to always fix my dumb thing because this curved screen makes it difficult. So let's see if that did it right there. Can you guys hear me? If there's anyone in here. What's going on, guys? I'm just fixing up the charts here a little bit so we can take a look at charts. I know some of you are mostly just interested in gold because that's what we talk about a lot in that gold chat room. There's a couple of really good opportunities going on here, so we'll start with gold. But I really like this US 30, and I might place a sell on this US 30 right now. In fact, I'm going to. This US 30, that candle, that 1 hour candle close is exactly what I look for if I want to sell, right? That wick at the top is longer than the body. So I'm just going to go ahead and place an order right here. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and place a sell on the US 30 right now as you guys are on here. Okay. That candle, that 1 hour candle close is exactly what I look for if I want to sell, right? It has a wick at the top longer than the body of the candle at the close of that 1 hour candle. That wick at the top of that candle made a high of where, so let's just look at it, made a high of 35,786. So it's about 60 points. I always on my US 30s have a 200 point stop loss to begin. And I know some people think 200 points is a huge stop loss. If you're trading the US 30, a 200 point stop loss is nothing. This is the most wild, volatile pair, most likely, that you'll trade. So a 200 point stop loss on the US 30 is nothing. It probably should be a lot more. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, right? As long as you are practicing proper risk reward, 1 to 2 risk reward, if you have a 200 pip stop loss and you're going for 400 pip points, does it really matter, right? It's all relative to if you have a 4 pip stop loss and an 8 pip take profit. If you have a 200 point stop loss and a 400 point take profit, it's all relative as long as you're getting 2 to 1 risk reward or 1 to 2 risk reward, however you want to frame it. So for me, that's a beautiful sell right there, and I might lose, right? It might take me out and I might lose, and that's okay. Like we talk about all the time, losses are a part of the game, okay? Anyone who tells you, again, that they don't lose, you need to run away and hide from them as quickly as possible, because losses are a part of the game. They happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Losses will happen. Okay, so the reason I have these red lines on gold is we were dancing around that 1799 area, which was a pretty significant area, right? From right there and back a little bit. So we're dancing around this previous resistance that has now become support right there at 1799. So in order to buy gold again, I would have to have it pull above this red level here, pull above by 30 or 40 points possibly, and then come down and retouch that level and then give me my rejection candle, and then I can trade it up to, 1810, 1813 would be your next target to the upside. Okay, so but I'm different than most traders in I don't buy breakouts just because it breaks out of a major resistance level. It has to break above, pull back, and then give me a rejection candle. And by a rejection candle, I mean if I'm buying that same pattern that we talk about all the time with a tail. This would be a perfect example of it right there. Tail longer than the body of that candle right there. So he says, I found you. Why are you in the other chat, YouTube? I don't mean to be rude, and I'm not trying to be rude. If I want to be in that other YouTube chat, I can be in there. I can do whatever I want, right? I can be in 4 YouTube chats if I want to be. So I appreciate the question. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but you said, found you, why are you in the other one? I can be in there if I want to. I can be in 5 different YouTube chats, right? So anyway, I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not saying I'm just saying I can, because I want to be, right? I mean, I don't have to have a reason. I want to be, so I can do whatever I want. So, and I'm not trying to be rude. I really am not. So again, if we want to buy this currency, if we want to buy gold again, it would have to break up here by a good 30 to 40 points, so we make sure that it's not a false breakout, and then pull back to this level. Yeah, this is live. This is live. I'm actually talking to you live right now. That's why I'm reading your comments. So it would have to break above, pull back, and then give us a rejection candle. I still believe that gold is hella bullish. I believe on all the higher time frames that gold is an uptrend. So if it comes down from here, right? If it doesn't hold the 1799 area and it comes down, our next major support level would be 1795. I could buy if I get the pattern down at 1795. If it doesn't give me the pattern and it keeps going down, I can buy if it goes down to 1792. So I'm definitely looking for buys, but I have to have my particular pattern that I look for. Okay, so I have to have the pattern that I look for. And the pattern I look for, if I am buying gold, is that tail longer than the body. Here's another perfect example of it right here. Okay, that tail at the bottom of that body of that candle is longer than the body of the candle, right? Does everybody understand that? If I circle that in blue right there, that body, that tail is longer, right? So that is a perfect buy candle for me. Perfect buy candle. Now, other people might think I'm crazy, and maybe I am. I probably am. You could probably ask my wife, and she'll say that I'm crazy. You know, perfectly fine, but that's a perfect buy candle for me. That tail is longer than the body, and it has no wick at the top of the body of the candle, okay? So if you got in that trade, you got in that trade at somewhere right in here, right? Where that new candle formed, somewhere right here, maybe 1794. You got into that trade, and it made a high. It never really came and stopped you out, and you made good money on it, right? Your stop loss, nope, it does not matter what color it is. Yep. Your stop loss has to be below that tail, down here, the low of that tail, and you don't want your stop loss to be right at the tail. You want it 20 or 30 points below the tail. So that the bottom of that tail, is where, let's put a red line on that bottom of that tail. So if you get in at 1794, the bottom of that tail is, and that's a bigger one, 1784, right? So that's 100 points, and you want it at least 20 or 30 below that. So if you're not used to obviously having that big of stop loss, you just have to reduce your lot size, right? And usually you don't see those candles like that, where it's extremely, you know, but you have to have your stop loss below that tail and not right at the tail, because a lot of times it will come and touch that tail and then go the opposite direction, right? So you don't want it right at the tail. If it's a sell, right, if you want to sell gold, it's just the exact opposite. It's just a wick at the top longer than the body of the candle, right? So I'm trying to see, this one would be a pretty good, and again, not all of them win, right? Anyone who tells you their system is 100% accurate is just lying to you. So this would be, let me just clear that again real quick, and I'll draw that again. That would be a pretty good example of a sell candle that has a wick at the top that's longer than the body of the candle, right? The one I'm just going to circle right now. Now, you would have lost on that one, right? You probably would have lost. Well, maybe, right? Because your stop is going to be 20 or 30 pips above that. So it ends up coming up, you get in right here. And again, remember, sometimes you're going to lose. No matter what you do, no matter what system you trade, you're going to lose sometime. It's just the way it goes. So you would have gotten in at 1799, and you would have had a stop loss at 1804 is, I think you actually would have been fine if you had your stops, 20 or 30 pips above the high of the tail, because the high of the tail was at, and that's why it's important. Yeah, you would have been fine. You would have been fine. And then it would have made a low before it went up. So you got in there at 17.99. It would have made a low before it started going up again at 17.95. So once, this is gold. So once I am up 30 to 40 points, or $3 to $4, 30 or 40 pips, whatever the hell you want to call it, I don't really care. 30 to 40 points, $3 to $4, 30 to 40 pips. Okay, so if I get in a buy on gold at 1800, obviously 30 points would be 1803, right? I call it dollars. So if I get in a gold buy at 1800 and it goes to 1803, that's 30 points, $3, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? So stops are always at break even once you're up 30 to 40 points, $3 to $4, and then I just keep moving my stops. If I get up 50 to 60 points, pips, dollars, then my stops are going to be at like plus 10 or plus 20, and I just keep moving my stops the higher it goes in my favor, right? And then at that point, once I'm up, once my stop losses are at plus 20 or plus 30, plus 40, the market is going to have to get me out of that. Okay, I'm not getting out of that trade. Once I'm up plus 30, plus 40, the market would have to get me out of that. What's going on, Camille? Okay, why would I, if I'm looking for buys, why would I want to keep my buys in as long as possible and not get stopped out? Why would I want, if I'm in a buy, why would I want to keep my buys in as long as possible? Does anybody know the answer to that? Why wouldn't I want to just take it out? Why wouldn't I want to just take it out? Why wouldn't I want to just take it out, take the trade out? Right. I mean, if I'm comfortable making 30 to 40 points, $3 to $4, and I'm comfortable with that, I might get a big move, right? I might get a huge move if I'm patient, but I'm never going to get a big move, a massive move, if I cut my legs out from under me, right, and just take the trade out. I'm not a scalper, so I'm different than most traders because I'm not a pussy and I don't scalp for 10 pips crumb trades. Okay, I'm a swing trader. I look for extreme lows to buy and extreme highs to sell. And what most people do, and why most people lose in the markets is because they look to buy high and sell low. So they do the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Most of these YouTube streamers, they'll look at this right here and they'll buy the break of this hoping it goes higher, right? Or they'll sell the low hoping it goes lower. That's contrary to what you should be doing as a trader. You should be looking to buy low and sell high. I know it's a new concept. Buy low and sell high has been a true principle long before we were all born and will be true long after we are all dead. Okay? Again, I use the analogy all the time. When you go to buy a house, you don't go to your real estate agent and say, "I really love this house, Mr. Real Estate Agent, but I want to wait until it goes up 15% before I buy it." Right? You don't say to your real estate agent, "I really like this house, Mr. Real Estate Agent, but I want to wait till it goes up 15% before I buy it." No, you look to buy your house at the lowest possible price. Or your car, right? You don't go to a car dealership and say, "I really love this Lamborghini, but I want to wait till it goes up 15% before I buy it." No, you look to buy at the lowest point possible. And you look to sell at the highest point possible. So you say, so since you are going to let the market get you out, how do you know when to take profit? Well, again, Black, if I've set my stops at plus 30 or plus 40, I'm already making profit no matter what it does, right? And then if it reverses, that's fine. I don't really care because I'm comfortable with the amount of money I've made. So I don't really care. At that point, it's a dead trade to me, right? Because I've already said I'm comfortable with this. I'm comfortable with the buys. I'm comfortable with the amount of money I make no matter what, right? So at that point, I don't really care if it comes back and takes me out for plus 30 or plus 40. Does that make sense? So at that point, it's a no loss trade, right? You're not going to lose on it, and you're comfortable with the amount of money you're going to make, even if it gets you out at plus 30 or plus 40. That's fine. And then if the market reverses, I don't really care, right? Because I've already made money. So that's kind of how I look at it, but I look at it differently than most traders, right? I'm different than most traders. I'm a contrarian, and if anyone knows what a contrarian trader is, I do the opposite of what most other traders do. If I know the sentiment of most traders is to the sell side, then I'm taking the buy side. Okay, so that's called being a contrarian. And the reason I go into those gold chat rooms, let's go check the chat room again, the Forex Leah chat room, one of the real big reasons I go in there is because no matter how much this hurts people's feelings, truth is still truth, right? And I want to live in a society where truth and logic and facts win over how something makes you feel, right? So the old saying is that 80 to 90% of retail traders lose. Has everyone heard that before? Has everyone heard that before? 80 to 90% of retail traders lose. So there's 70 people in that gold chat right now. So if you get out and go 70 times 0.80, okay. So of the 70 people in the chat right now, maybe 14 of them are successful traders, right? If that's saying that 80% of retail traders lose and you have 70 people in a chat room, that means that out of the 70, maybe 14 are successful traders. So then who is your best indicator? I don't use indicators on my charts. You'll never see them on my charts. I think they're a waste of time. But who is my best indicator if I know that of those 70 people, maybe 14 of them are successful? So who's my best indicator? Think about it. The other traders, right? They're my best indicator. I want to know what they're doing, and I want to do the opposite of what they're doing because 80 to 90% of them are losers. I know it sounds bad, and people say, man, that's just harsh. The markets, again, do not care about our feelings. The markets don't care about my feelings. The markets don't care about your feelings. The markets don't care about our feelings. They will take your money, spit you up, laugh at you, take your money, and not give one flying crap about your feelings. So we have to stop getting so offended by facts and logic and truth. And too many people let their emotions dictate things, and they're like, oh, you can't say, that's mean, you need to be nice to people. I don't need to be nice to people. The markets aren't going to be nice to you, right? So too many people, I think, rely way too heavily on emotions, and I don't want to live in a society where emotions win the day. I want to live in a society where facts and logic win, right? So Maya Cado says, is there a possibility it can go to 1810 again? So my question to you is there a possibility that 5 Victoria's Secret models might show up at my door tonight, Maya? Is there a possibility that 5 Victoria's Secret models might show up at my door tonight? Of course there's a possibility, right? You're not asking the right question. The right question would be, what is the likelihood, right? Because anything is possible. Anything is possible. 5 Victoria's Secret models might show up at my door tonight. The likelihood of that happening, probably very, very slim. So can it go back up to 1810? Yeah, absolutely. It could go back down to 1750. We only trade probabilities. We don't trade absolutes, right? I love that. Let's go to. I love that clip from Star Wars from Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And so I'm going to play it for you because it's actually pretty classic, and I need you guys to listen to this because it's extremely important that you understand this. Okay.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Okay, so Anakin Skywalker says to Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy. And what does Obi-Wan say?
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
He says, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Okay? Hear it again.
If you're not with me,
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
So only a Sith Lord deals in absolutes. In the trading business, we don't deal in absolutes. We deal in probabilities. So the right question, no, that's fine. I'm not trying to call you out here, but the proper question would be, what is the likelihood or what is the probability that it's going to do that? So if we look at the 1 hour chart, because I base all of my entries on the 1 hour chart. And if you start circling, every time it's making a low right now, is it making a higher low or a lower high on the 1 hour? If you just start circling from the bottom, is it making lower highs or higher lows on the 1 hour chart? Higher lows or lower highs? This is a 1 hour chart. Is it making higher lows or lower highs? No, it's making higher lows, right? Every time it makes a low, it's making a higher low. Right. Okay, so would that be bearish momentum on the 1 hour candle, or would that be bullish momentum on the 1 hour candle? On the 1 hour time frame, excuse me. If it's making higher highs every time it goes low, does that mean it's bullish or bearish momentum? Bullish, exactly. Okay, so the momentum on the 1 hour chart is bullish. Now let's go to the 4 hour chart. We did this, I think we did this earlier, but maybe we didn't. If I circle on the 4 hour chart down here, hopefully that you guys can see that, to where it is now, and some people do it differently. Some people do the trend differently. I do it this way. On the 4 hour chart, is it higher or lower than it was when I have my first circle there? Is it higher or lower? Is it higher or lower? Higher or lower than it was when it started from my right around October 11th. It's higher. So you would say that the 4 hour is an uptrend, correct? Okay, so go to the daily chart. Is the daily chart higher or lower than it was when it started? Let's do it from here, maybe. Let's see if that's the right place. Okay, the daily is higher. Okay. So you have the 4 hour, the daily are an uptrend. What is the weekly? I mean, the weekly is not even close, right? The weekly trend is not even close. It's been bullish for years on the weekly chart. Now, the question how far down would it have to go on a weekly chart in order for it to be a trend change? Do you know how far it would have to go down on a weekly chart for it to be a trend change? I mean, we'll probably have to go back down to that 1678 area that we tested for a while, maybe, right? Maybe at 1678 it would be a trend change on the weekly, but the weekly is an uptrend right now. Okay, go to the monthly. Look at the monthly. Is the monthly an uptrend or is the monthly a downtrend? Monthly uptrend or monthly downtrend? So it's the monthly is an uptrend, and the monthly would have to go back down to 1368 from like March of 2016 in order for the monthly to turn around and be a downtrend, right? So it would have to go back down to 2016 levels. Right down there at like 1368 in order for that. So the other question I always ask people, and I know I've asked you guys this before that have been in my stream before, is it I'm trying to figure out how I phrase this question. Is it rare that all of the higher time frames align in the same direction, or is it pretty common? And what I mean by the higher time frame charts, I mean the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Is it rare that they all align in the same direction, or is it pretty common that they all align in the same direction? Is it common, or is it uncommon? Common or uncommon? I'll wait for a couple of answers. Common or uncommon? No, to me it's extremely rare that all 4 of those time frames are aligned in the same direction. It's extremely rare for me. So if I know that we're back at the 1-hour chart now, if I know that the 1-hour momentum is to the upside and all of the higher time frames are an uptrend, if I want to trade with the trend, am I looking for buys or am I looking for sells? It's uncommon until it's common. True. But if I want to trade with the trend, I am looking for buys, right? Exactly. Okay, so now I have to look for my areas to get into buys, right? And all I do is I'm going to find out where my major support and resistance levels are. And this was a major support level that it's bouncing off at 1798 from October 27th, just yesterday, right? That was a high right there. Right, that was previous resistance that became support, and look what it did just now when we came back to the markets. It hit right off that 1798 area, and it's buying up again, right? So then there was a question earlier that I didn't get to, and he said, I think someone asked if it was a buy. I think he was asking if it's a buy. Let me just see here. I know someone. Oh, so he says too early to buy. For me, I only take trades at the close of the 1-hour candle. So is it close to the 1-hour candle close right now? Is it close to the 1-hour candle close right now? Yes or no? Is it almost the end of the hour? To me, it looks like there's 26 minutes left before the end of the hour. So the answer is I would not take a trade unless I have a 1-hour candle close with the pattern I'm looking for. So I'm not taking another trade for another 25 minutes at least, and it would have to have the pattern that I'm looking for in order to do that. So I'm not taking any trades right now on it. Okay, I'm going to wait to see what happens. Our next major support level, our next resistance level, is up here at 1803. So right now we're trading in between the range of 1798 and 1803. If it comes back and tests that 1798 area and gives me my rejection candle for a buy, I'll buy it. Right? Now, what happens if it doesn't, right? What happens if it just goes up to that 1803, right? Breaks that 1803. I can still buy it, but I would have to wait for a breakout of about 30 to 40 points because I want to make sure it's not a false breakout. So I'd want it to break above 1803, maybe to 1807, then pull back to 1803, and then I can buy it, right? It's the same pattern there. Yeah, the same pattern. And then my target on that would just be your next area of resistance, which would be up in here at 1810. Guys, it's so easy because a lot of people are like, well, what's your next target? Just look at your charts, right? If you get in at 1803 on a buy, your target is just the next area of resistance, which would be at 1810 from October 25th, and it hit there yesterday, or today even, maybe. So if I get into the trade at 1803, my target is the next major resistance level. Right? Now, does that mean absolutely that it has to go up to, if I get in a buy at 1803, it has to go up to 1810? No. right? Again, we're talking about probabilities. We're talking about what's the highest probability. Is the highest probability that if it goes above 1803, that it's just gonna, let's just draw it again. So it goes above 1803 and it just starts selling off from some random area between 1803 and 1810. Is it a higher probability that it would go up to 1810, or is it a higher probability that it would start going down in just some no man's random land? Well, Kamal, my first target would be 70 pips, right? But remember what I said. Once I get up 30 to 40 points, I'm going to set my stop at break even. But my target, my overall target on gold buys is 2,073, the all-time highs, right? That's my big target on gold. I believe gold's going back to the all-time highs. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to protect my profits, right? So if I get up, I'm always going to protect my profits, always. I wouldn't do anything at 1810. I wouldn't do, if I get in at 1803 and it goes up to if I get in at 1803 on a buy and it goes to 1810, my stop losses are going to be at plus 10 or plus 20, right? If I get in at 1803 right there and it goes to 1810, my stop losses are probably going to be at 1804, 1805, right? So no matter what, I make 10 to 20 points. And then I want to see what it does above 1810, because if it can keep screaming above 1810, then I'm just going to move my stops up higher to maybe plus 30 or plus 40. Okay? So if it gets to 1810, I'm not taking my trade out from 1803. I'm just moving my stops and then letting the trade play out. Okay, and then if it goes above 8, I just keep moving my stops. Yeah, if you guys were to see one of my accounts right now, you would see, I think, 10 gold buys in, all of them in profit right now, from like 1755 on, all of them in profit in one of my accounts, and I'm not touching those. Those are long-term buys on gold, because I do believe that gold long-term is going up. I think there's too many factors other than just the charts that makes me think that gold is going to go up. We have a moron in the White House who can't even form coherent sentences. We have a moron in the White House who has late-stage dementia, not early-stage dementia, late-stage dementia. We have a moron in the White House. They're about to pass another $2 trillion in the United States here that we don't have. Okay? We are spending money we don't have, and we're printing money. What happens when you print money? What does the value of your dollar do when you start printing money? What does the value of the dollar do when you start printing money? The value of your dollar goes down, right? Because you have more of it. Like if you have 100 F-150 trucks, the value of each one of those trucks at your lot is lower, right? So inflation, literally the definition of inflation is more money chasing after the same amount of products, because we're not producing more, right? We can't even get people to go back to work here in the United States. People are begging, companies are begging people to go back to work. We have labor shortages. We are not producing more, but we have more money chasing after the same amount of products. So what does that do to the price of the products? Everything goes up. When I built my office, on the side of my house here, one thing of sheetrock, a thing of sheetrock was $20. Was $20 a sheet. It's $70 a sheet now. 70. It's gone up 50%. When we bought our house almost 4 years ago, we bought it for $240,000. It's worth $460,000 now. Everything, the price of everything is going up because we have more money chasing after the same amount of goods. And when that happens, inflation, hold on one second, guys. Okay. So if inflation goes up, what happens to the price of gold? All of you, us in the United States, have seen those silly gold commercials, right? I'm going to buy gold as a hedge against inflation. So when inflation goes up, what does the price of gold do? Inflation goes up, the price of gold goes up because gold is a hedge against inflation, right? It goes up, right? Because it's a hedge against inflation. Okay, so there's lots of reasons I believe that gold is going to go to all-time highs. And I believe part of it is because of the doddering idiot that we have in the White House. Because the guy in the White House that we have right now is an idiot. And all of you guys that are not in the United States, I apologize as an American for this complete, utter idiot we have in the White House right now. You deserve a better America, but he's probably taking a nap right now. The guy is a complete joke. It's disgusting. He can't even form coherent sentences. He has late-stage dementia, not early-stage dementia. I do have a master's degree in psychology, so I am qualified to make that assessment. He has late-stage dementia. The guy is a moron. Okay? He doesn't answer questions at press conferences. He barely can make it when he gives a speech. He like barely makes it to the door. The guy's a moron. So I apologize as an American to everybody in the world for this idiot that we have in the White House right now. You deserve a better America and you're not getting it. No, and come on, that again, all of the stuff that I'm saying right now, just because I've shown you that gold is an uptrend, that does not mean gold can't go down, right? That does not mean that gold can't go down just because every higher time frame is an uptrend. Okay? But in the long run, the higher time frame trend always wins out. In the long run, the higher time frame trend always wins out. Now, do I believe that gold's going to go to all-time highs above 2073? Yes. Do I think it's going to go there from right here at 1800? I don't know. The question isn't when is it going to go to there. The question is how far does it have to go down before it goes there. So again, for me, I'm buying every dip I can. Every dip I can on gold, I am adding my positions and stacking long. Well, so you say, I got your point, and I understand what you're saying, but why can't they do that? All you have to do is reduce your lot size, right? Instead of trading a $1 lot, you trade a 20-cent lot, or you trade a 30-cent lot. You can do it, but the other thing about it is, well, there's a couple reasons why people don't do it. They're used to scalping. The other reason they don't do it is because their brain can't fathom that they would add to losing positions. Because I get that all the time. I get that all the time too. I can't believe you'll add to losing positions. Well, why wouldn't I? If I'm getting a better price to buy gold, why wouldn't I add a position? So if you usually have 10 contracts you're willing to place on gold, all I'm doing is I'm taking those 10 contracts and placing them at different levels instead of placing them all at one level. Right? So I'm just taking those 10 contracts and placing them at different levels instead of blowing my whole wad on one price and then having a 10 pip stop loss. To me, and this is just my 2 cents, take it for what it's worth. I'm just some schmuck on the internet that's been trading for 17 years. For me, I would rather get kicked in the balls than have a 10 pip stop loss. I would rather get kicked in the balls than use shitty lagging indicators. I don't need them. That's just my 2 cents. If people want to use shitty lagging indicators like RSI, like Fibos, like whatever EMAs, you want to use those shitty lagging indicators, go. That's up to you. I don't need them. I think they're worthless. Everything I need to know, I can see on these charts right here. Right? I don't need shitty lagging indicators to tell me, because each one of these candlesticks tells me a story. And if you understand how to read the candlesticks, the big boys, or the people that move the markets, they leave signs in the market. They leave signs. They leave crumbs for you to read. And if you learn how to do that, if you learn how to read what the big boys are doing, you can be really, really successful. And then I had a guy that's a very, very powerful influencer in the trading world on Instagram. He was saying, let's just not mess with the big boys. Let's just take our piece and then get out of the way of the big boys. And I'm like, why not just get in the car with the big boys and learn what they're doing? Why take your 10 pip crumbs? Why not get in the car with the big boys? Why are you avoiding them? Learn what they're doing. They leave signs. But one thing I can promise you is big boys aren't selling lows and buying tops. Okay? So I can guarantee you that the people that move the markets, they're not buying these lows, selling these lows here, hoping it goes lower like most of the YouTube streamers do. They're not doing that. They're not buying tops and hope it goes higher. They're buying low and they're selling high. Well, what I'm saying is they tell their story by these wicks and these tails and the candlesticks that I was talking about earlier. The candlestick that I was talking about earlier, these rejection candles on gold, what are they telling you? When you have these rejection candles on gold, these two rejection candles on gold down there, what is it trying to tell you? Correct, Black Falcon. I don't need stop losses because gold could go down to 0 and I would not lose more than 30% of my account. Correct. Excuse me, this is GJ. I apologize. AA, this is GJ. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my fault. But to answer your question again, Black Falcon, gold could go to 0. 0, and I would only lose about 30% of my account. So I really don't care. Okay, so what these candles signify is that sellers tried to push, right? Sellers tried to push and buyers came into the market. You can call it, there was an order block down here. You can say whatever you want. You can say it's an order block. You can call it a supply and demand zone. It's just fancy words for support and resistance, okay? I don't care what you call all of these things. You can call this area, all these tails down here, order block, whatever you want to say. It's basic support and resistance. Supply and demand zones are the same as basic support and resistance. They're the same as that. There was an order block of buyers down here. There was some supply and demand down there, and that's what happened. Okay? Those candles are saying to you that sellers tried to push below and they were unable to push. And that buyers came into the market. That's what that candle is telling you, or those candles. You have to learn how to read what the candles are telling you. You don't need indicators to tell you that. Okay, if we go up to the top here, because my pattern that I trade is if I want to sell, would this have been a perfect sell up here at the very top on the GJ? Would that have been a perfect sell candle that I'm circling right now? That's a perfect sell candle, right? That's a perfect sell candle because it has a wick at the top of the body of the candle longer than the body of the candle. That was a perfect sell. You would have gotten in right there at 157.56 and you would have made a massive amounts of money. But what? Black Falcon says the wick is bigger than the body, but what? Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so again, I tell people all the time when I teach them this pattern, don't take my word for it. Back test it. I'm just some 44-year-old moron on the internet and you shouldn't trust me. Back test it. If you're going to sell, you're going to have a wick longer than the body of the candle, and you're going to wait till the opening of the next 1 hour candle to sell. So your sell would have happened right here. Don't take my word for it. Back test it. It works. It's 85% accurate. You can trade it on crypto. You can trade it on stocks. You can trade it on any time frame, any pair. And I guarantee you that over the long run, it's going to be right 85% of the time. Now, there might be some weeks when it's less than 85%, but over the long run, it's going to be right 85% of the time. Okay, so if you're going to sell, you want that pattern there. You want the wick at the top longer than the body, or an inverted hammer, doji, whatever. Again, whatever the hell you want to call it, I don't care. It's just fancy words, right? And then if it's a buy, you want the opposite. You want a tail at the bottom longer than the body of the candle. And then you enter your trade at the opening of the next 1 hour candle. It's the simplest trading you'll ever have in your life. It's the simplest thing. Trading does not have to be complicated. People they're like Iron Man or Clay. My name's Clay. Call me Clay or call me Iron. I don't really give a damn again what you call me. They're like, it can't be that simple. And I always say, why? Why can't it be? Because in our brains, again, we can't fathom that things can be that simple. It absolutely is. It's that simple. Now, again, if you can align it with the higher time frame trend, and if the trend on the GJ, I think we determined all of the higher time frames on GJ are bullish, right? So again, I'm looking for buys, and I'm looking for that pattern. Yes, Black Falcon, you'll see it. I mean, we can do it right now. I never look at a 15-minute chart. Again, I'd rather get kicked in the balls than look at a 15-minute chart, but we can look at it. The 15-minute chart on the GJ is going to be no different than any of the other ones. Now, your expectations for how many pips you might get, the expectation for how many pips you might get has to change. But if you start circling every time you have a wick or a tail at the bottom longer than the body of the candle, it's going to be the same. It's going to be accurate about 85% of the time. Okay? You can go to the 5-minute chart. You can do it on the 5-minute chart. I don't care. Just start circling them. And what I tell people all the time is don't take my word for it. Go back test it. I'm just some moron and schmuck on the internet. Okay? I don't want you to trust me. I don't want you to go do the work. But the problem is, in our society today, most, especially new traders, don't want to put in the work, right? You go into that gold chat room, they're like, is it a buy or sell? Well, what the hell do your charts tell you, right? What the hell do your charts tell you? You're never going to become a better trader by asking people if it's a buy or sell. Do the damn work. Put in the work. Put in the time. I worked my ass off to be where I'm at. I put in a ton of time on the charts. I didn't ask people when I was starting if it was a buy or sell. I studied my charts. But in our society today, we want everything right now, right? Everything is right now. We can order pizza right now. Everything we have at the tip of our fingertips, and we can get it instantly. No one is willing to put in the work it takes to become successful at this. There aren't a lot of people that are willing to do that, right? Put in the fucking time on the charts. Because it's not my job to tell you that, right? It's not my job to tell you if it's a buy or a sell. It's not my job. It's your job. It's your job to do that. My job, and I go in that chat room all the time, and they're like, we're all here to help each other. And I'm not here to help you. That's not my job. I'm here to make money. I'm here to see what you guys are doing so I can do the opposite and make money. I'm not here to help you. Help yourself. I'm here to make money. Right? I'm not here to help these people. I'm here to make money. Go help yourself. It's not my job. I'm not your wet nurse, right? Not my job. If you want to be a lazy ass, go be a lazy ass somewhere else. It's not my job to help you. Well, Black Falcon, I call it a tail if it's at the bottom, right? I call it a tail if it's at the bottom. But look, gold is about to give us that pattern right now, isn't it? Is gold about to give us that pattern right now? We have 4 minutes left in this 1 hour. Is gold about to give us that? See, and again, I love TED Talks, and I'm a psychologist. I got my master's degree in psychology, so I love talking about the human mind, hit, no flex, and I'm not trying to pick on you, But there was this TED Talk where this guy would go talk to people about 8 months after they've graduated from college, and they're 8 months into their job. And he always asks them, well, how are you doing? They're like, well, I'm doing okay, but I'm not making an impact at my job. And he goes, you've only been there for 8 months. Why do you think you should be making an impact at your job if you've only been there for 8 months? Put in the work. You know, he says they will all want to get to the top of the mountain, but they're not willing to put in the work it takes to get to the top, right? Put in the work. If you want to treat this as a full-time job, put in the work. And it's not anyone else's job to do that for you. Nobody's. But you go into that chat room, and I just use that as an example. You go in there and it's always, is it a buy or sell? Again, what the hell do your charts tell you, right? Because they just want the easy way out. They want the easy way. They don't want to put in the work. Study your charts, right? I mean, you can go in there at any time of day and you'll see multiple people saying, is it a buy or is it a sell? Well, again, what do your charts tell you? What do your charts tell you? You can go in there any time of day and you can be like, it's not easy, but nothing in life that's worth having and worth accomplishing is easy, right, Doji? You would agree with that. I know you would. Nothing in life that is worth anything is easy, right? Nothing in life that's worth a damn comes easily. Life is hard. It's full of ups and downs, right? All of us have had ups and downs. I have ups and downs all the time. Life's not easy. I will be, yeah. I might be taking a couple here. In fact, we're going to go to gold, and then because if I know that I'm going to be right 85% of the time over the long run, right? Do I take the trade? If I know I'm going to be right 85% of the time, do I take the trade? Yes or no? Now, this is counter trend, right, to the higher time frame trend. But if I know I'm going to be right no matter if it's counter trend or trend, because that's the numbers are still the numbers, am I going to take the trade? If I know that I'm over the long haul, I'm going to take it? Well, this would be a sell because the wick at the top is longer than the body. This would be a sell on gold. But if I know I'm going to be right, do I take the trade? Of course you are. You're an effing robot at that point, right? You're a robot. It's just a numbers game at that point. If you know you're going to be right 85% of the time. Okay, so there you go. Placing a new order. So now that I have my new order in there, where's my stop loss? Of course you're going to take it. At that point, if you know you're going to be right 85% of the time, you're a robot. No emotions, no nothing. You just take the trade, and you know that you might lose, and that's okay. Losses are a part of it. Losses are good for you. It puts hair on your chest. On this one, I'm going to have one Black Falcon because it's counter trend. But if I do have a stop loss on this one, where's my stop loss going to be? It's the 1 hour, correct? The high of the tail, right? The high of the tail of that 1 hour that just closed is at 1801. So I wanted at least 20 to 30 points above that. I have some major areas right here at 1804, 1805. I probably will have mine at 1808. It's probably going to be a 100-point stop loss. And I know people are like, that's crazy. I probably will have it at least above 1804. I'm probably going to have it at 1808. So I'm going to place my stop at 1808. Okay, and when I stream and I'm in trades, I always have my terminal up. Okay, that's another thing that makes me different than 99% of the people that stream. One, I hate YouTube and I don't like to stream. I don't stream a lot, but when I stream, I have my terminal up with the trades I'm in so you guys can see it. Okay, I don't hide behind TradingView. I'm not a pussy. I'm not a pussy. I don't hide behind TradingView. I'm not ashamed of my trades. So when I'm in trades, you will see my terminal up. So I'm going to pull the terminal up right here. You can see the trades that I'm in because I'm not a pussy. Okay, anyone who hides behind TradingView and they stream on YouTube is a pussy. Okay, if you can't prove that you are taking the trade yourself and you can't show a live terminal, what are you trying to hide, right? So I'm not a pussy. I will show you that. You see the terminal up right now with the trades I'm in. I'm in a sell on the US 30 that I showed you guys when we started this stream, and I'm on a sell on gold. You can see it because I'm showing it. I'm not a pussy. It gets really frustrating when I see a bunch of people streaming on YouTube, and especially if you're going to charge people money, right? Like you have a bunch of people in that gold chat room that have signal services or whatever it is, which I'm fine with. I have my own signal service too. But if you're going to charge people for your services, isn't it just a basic thing that you should be able to prove that you're successful yourself? Shouldn't you be able to show that you're successful in your own live account if you're going to sell people services? Right? Shouldn't you be able to prove that? If I'm going to go to my bank and my bank says, Clay, there's this fund that we want you to invest in. It's working out really well. And I say to my bank, well, can I see a history of the fund doing well? And my bank says, no, you can't see a history. Am I going to invest in that fund? Am I going to invest in that fund if my bank says, no, you can't see that? Am I going to invest in that fund? No. And it's funny because I get castrated a lot in that gold chat room saying, you need to be nicer to people. Well, I'm being a realist, right? I'm being a realist. I'm trying to help new traders say, if this guy can't show you that he has a history of success in a live trade, in a live account, why would you give him your money for signals, right? So let's just do this, because I like to do this too. And anyone who goes to has been on my streams knows that I'm not afraid to show that either, right? Okay. I'm not afraid to show a history of success, right? So the question I always ask when I end up pulling up one of these is, can you withdraw money from a demo account? Oops, sorry. Can you withdraw money from a demo account, yes or no? Can you withdraw money from a demo account? That's the last 30 days of history in that account. I have like 7 or 8 live accounts I need to consolidate. But can you, deja vu again? I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. I don't think you can do that. Camille, you will never, ever see my TD Ameritrade account. So the reason I have these smaller accounts is because I get 500 to 1 leverage on these accounts, right? At Hanko's Trade or Hugo's Way or whatever. You will never, ever see my TD Ameritrade account. First of all, you have no right to see it. You're not entitled. I'm not trying to get on anyone's case here. You're not entitled to anything. I don't have to show you a damn thing, right? I'm showing you more than, again, 99% of people will show you. I don't have to show anyone anything, right? You're not entitled to anything. But again, withdrawal history within the last 30 days, last 45 days, those withdrawals are more money than most people have in their account, right? I'm not talking about this to brag. I'm telling you that anyone who's trying to sell you something, signals or anything like that, if they can't show you this, then you should not give them the money. And Camille, and I'm not picking on you, Camille. I think you're a good dude and you're in here a lot. What does the size of the account matter, right? The size of the account shouldn't matter. It's being consistent, right? You should just be wanting to have consistent growth. the size of the account really shouldn't be your top priority, right? Okay, so this one that I'm showing right now, that once we're back on here, this is my FTMO account that I'm showing right now that passed both the verification and the challenge phase. Okay, so this FTMO account I have that is up on the screen right now is actually an FTMO account where I'm getting an 80% split. It passed both phases, and I can even show you that because, again, I'm not afraid to be transparent with people. Okay, this account started, and we'll just pull it up because we're not afraid of being transparent. We're just not afraid. This account started on October 18th, and it's just a $10,000. It's the smallest FTMO account because I just wanted to try FTMO and see. From the 18th of October to today, this account started at $10,000, is up $1,361. There it is right there. You can see it. It started on the 18th of October. So what is it now? So about 11 days ago, and it's up almost 14%. So I get 80% of that. That's not bad, right? But the size of your account isn't as important as just being consistent in your trading. To me, it's not. And that's what everyone will say until you show them smaller accounts. They're like, oh, but your account's so small. I'm like, well, wait a second. I thought it was just about being consistent, right? I thought it was about being consistent in trading and not what your account size is. But then when they don't like that, then they're like, no, it's about how big your account size is. I'm like, that's weird because you just changed the goalpost. You just changed it because it was about just consistently growing your account. Now, since I showed you that, you're like, oh, it's a small account and you only trade this or you trade that. It doesn't matter what your account size is, especially if you're new. You shouldn't worry about that. You should worry about consistently growing your account. Well, no. Again, I'm fine, Camille. You can ask for it, right? And I'm not trying to get mad at you. I have bigger accounts. I'm just saying you'll never see my TD Ameritrade account. So let me explain to you guys too what I do. I have, I think, 7 or 8 live accounts between Hanko Trade and Hugo's Way. All of those accounts are 500 to 1 leverage. So all of the profits I make in those accounts at the end of the month gets withdrawn and put into my TD Ameritrade account, because my TD Ameritrade account, I think I have 50 to 1 leverage or 100 to 1 leverage. My TD Ameritrade account is my long-term retirement account. What? No, I'm doing something right now. Is Mom home? Well, I'm in the middle of a meeting, so she's gonna have to take you. Tell her Dad's busy. My kids, sorry. So all of my money that I make from my man, it's hot in here. Hold on one second, guys. All right, so yeah, all my money that I make goes into that account, and you'll never see it. You'll never see that TD Ameritrade again because you're not entitled to it. Which trade are you talking about? The gold trade? If I get up 30 to 40 points on the gold trade, my stop is going to be at break even. So if I get up 30 to 40 points on that gold trade, my stop is going to be at break even. Okay, and then my target, and if I get up 50 to 60 points, then my stops are going to be at plus 10, plus 20. I have set amount areas that I'm looking for, but the first thing I look for is to get up 30 to 40 points so I can place my stops at break even. Once I'm at break even, I hope it goes more in my favor, obviously, so I can place my stops in profit. And once my stops are in profit, it can do whatever it wants, Camille, at that point. Okay? But if I'm talking about the sell right now, okay, if I'm talking about the sell and I'm selling where is the next major support level? If I sold right here and I'm down a little bit, if I sold at 1799.58, where's the next support level? The next support level is that area, that 1798 area that we were talking about earlier. That's your next support level. Okay? If it goes below 1798, where's your next support level? If it goes below 1798, then your next major support level is maybe 1795 from yesterday probably, or 2 days ago, and then maybe this low of this tail down here at 1792. Okay? So instead, and I'm not picking on anybody in here, instead of asking where your areas are, just look at your charts, right? Just look at your charts. Where's the next major support level? The next major support level right now is that 1798 that X is on right now. If it goes lower than that, the next area is 1795 and then 1792. So just look at your levels. But once I get up 30 to 40 points, if I do get up on this one 30 to 40 points, my stop is going to be at break even. Does that make sense to everybody? I also know that this is counter trend to the higher time frame trend. So if I can get my stops to break even sooner with this sell, I definitely want to, because it is a higher time frame uptrend. So I'm counter trend trading this, and I don't like counter trend trading, but the pattern was there, so I took the trade. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions before I go? Because I guess my kids are wanting me to take them to the lake or something. They have an activity there or something. I have no idea. My wife just got home, so she doesn't want to take them, which is weird. Does anybody have any questions? That's how you trade, guys. I've been doing this for 17 years for a living. For a living. I pay my bills this way. I do have a signal group. There he is. Hey, yeah, like I was saying in your message, man, I don't know what's going on, but it's out of my account. So until it's not out of my account, yeah, I can't really do anything until they give me an explanation why it's not at you yet, if that makes sense. It's out of my checking account. So until it's not, or it gets returned there, I can't do anything. You know what I mean? Okay, so we'll see what happens. But overall, it's an uptrend, so. No, I don't go live every day. I try to go live as unfrequently as I can because I hate YouTube. I think YouTube are a bunch of communist bastards. I think they censor free speech, and so I'm not a fan of YouTube. I think they're communist bastards that censor free speech. My group, Camille, is a paid group too, okay? So my Signal group is a paid group. I never apologize for that, ever. I charge for my time. My dad, I always say this, my dad, who's a very, very successful businessman, always says, do you know what the most valuable currency is? What is the most valuable currency? What is the most valuable currency?
Dad, can we go to the...
Okay, I've already explained to Adeline, I'm in a meeting. You have to get Mom to do it. Hey, keep the door open. Okay, so what's the most valuable currency? My time. Of course, I'm charging for my time and I don't apologize for it. If you don't like the Signal group after 30 days, you can have your money back. I don't care. Okay? You can have it back. But I charge for my time and I will never apologize for that. All right, guys? Ever. So I'm going to type this in here. You can get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me on Instagram at Ironman Futures Trading. And there is a hater account against me on Ironman Futures Trading. It's a scam. I love the guy to death. He is my hero. He makes me want to holler. So I do have a hater account, but you can go to Ironman Futures Trading on Instagram and you can get a hold of me there. I post all of my live trades there. Or you can go to Telegram. You can go to Telegram, and I'll type Telegram into the chat, YouTube chat. You can go add me on Telegram as well. So I just typed in my Telegram. handle. You can add me on Telegram if you're interested in becoming part of our signals group. We kick ass. It's the best signals group out there, and it's not even close. But we do take losses too. So I don't want anyone to think that we don't take losses in our signal group, because we do. But if you want to get involved in the signal group, are interested in it, but it does cost money. So, and again, I don't apologize for that. So I've typed in my Telegram is @YakSteelhead, and my Instagram is Ironman Futures Trading. If you guys are interested in being a part of that signal group, DM me, and we can get you into that group. Okay, I'm out of here, guys. Have a great day.